YouTube? It's the Nitro RC Nerds here, John and Andrew. Today, what we're going to look at is how to replace the front shock tower for a Losi 810. One of the things that I've learned during the brief time that I've been in the hobby is you can take these cars and you can run them through all sorts of stuff. You can jump them in all insane sort of ways. But the most dangerous type of hit is any sort of a head-on collision, and the most dangerous element, I believe, is the evil curb. So I've actually been able to straighten out the shock tower quite a bit. I'll go ahead and show you a picture now of what it looked like prior to me straightening it out. But nonetheless, it's not perfect. So I went ahead and ordered a new shock tower. Actually, I got two new ones just to be safe. And today we're going to pop it on. Should be very simple. Okay, so the tools that you need to do this are a 1/4 wrench and a 2mm nut driver, or excuse me, hex driver. And so first thing we're going to do is just begin by removing the shocks right here. Simply take your wrench and let's start with this one here. Your wrench and your driver, and you begin to screw it off. And once you've taken these nuts right here off, just simply pop the shocks off, like so. The next thing is to remove these inner nuts right here on both sides. And of course, make sure that as you're taking your parts off, you put them in an area where you know you're definitely not going to be losing them. Okay, now we've got that done. Now we begin to take these nuts down right off of here. As I was removing the camber link from the shock tower, one of the nuts from the camber link ball set fell down. I can't recommend this tool enough. This is just a magnetic rod. You can see what a great tool that is. Just allows you any small pieces that fall in hard to place areas you can easily get. And then you just continue and take off the other camber link, like so. Now it's just a matter of removing the two screws down here that go into the housing. Again, a 2mm hex driver works fine. And then finally you remove these screws from the shock tower caps right here. So just make sure that you hang on to the caps as such when you take them off. And then voila, your shock tower is now off. Now, unfortunately, I noticed I did a little bit more damage than I originally thought, in that this piece right here that goes onto this housing has snapped off. So at this point, what I'm going to do now is look into super gluing it. Fortunately, this is just a piece that is used to hold one of the screws. So we'll just let that dry and see how it works. Now the fun part, and this is where we get to actually put on the new one. And the part for this is 2163, Losi B 2163. So what we'll do is we'll just take the new shock tower and we'll begin to assemble it. And luckily it does come with some new shock caps, but unfortunately no screws. That's okay because we have all the parts we need. And now it's simply a matter of putting the shock tower on. So to do so, you simply kind of thread it through this little area right here, and you get it set. Prior to doing this, however, I'm going to take advantage of cleaning some of these areas that I typically can't get to without taking it off. Using the Track Power Speed Prep, I'm going to be doing a bit of a review later on some cleaning agents. And guys, I cannot recommend this enough. The order in which things go on really doesn't matter that much. So I'm just going to begin by putting on the shock caps. Which we seem to be struggling with a little bit. There we go. And it's finally just a matter of putting back the camber links. And then finally you put back on the shocks. And as I was looking at the screw sets for the shocks, I noticed that one of them was bent. Luckily I have spare parts for that, so we'll go ahead and take advantage and put a new one on. And as you're putting the shocks back on, if you forget the position in which you have the shocks and you didn't take pictures, which I advise you do prior to doing it, one tip is to take the old one out, and you can actually see where the screws went in, or excuse me, the nuts went in. So that will give you an idea precisely of where the shock setting was prior. And then the final piece, simply get your shocks, put them back on, and you're good to go. And now you have the new lovely shock tower. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great day.